Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of our confidence code. Yesterday, I talked about my journey, my story, and then introduced you to Peace Framework, which is the 5 steps which will help you from moving from chaos to calm, confident parenting. In that, we have understood how to parent with purpose, expand horizons, align values, cross bridges, and embrace change. That is what we learned from the Peace Framework. But that is a long journey because it has to be a behavior change. We have to incorporate all those things into us before we could see the changes, right? First, we have to be aware. We have to notice. There is a notice like at least 1 week of noticing what am I doing with my kids, right? Taking into account what am I doing? And then the awareness itself will bring change in you. You will get ideas on, okay, this is not right. Because when you are an observer of something, when you take yourself out of the storm and you become an observer, we are very good at finding fault with others, right? We are very good at finding fault with others. We are very good at judging others, and we are very good at giving advice others. When it is not my problem, I give very advice to you. Hey, you should do this. You should do that. You should have stayed calm in that situation. So it is about we becoming an observer. The point is we becoming an observer and looking at us from a third party point of view, saying that this is not right. What I'm doing with my child is not right, right? So knowing my why do I want you to do extracurriculars? Why do I want you to study for your exam? Why do I want you to make your bed? Everything, if our why is right, then we do intentional, yes, we do intentional and purposeful parenting, right? Now, because that is a long-term thing, I have a program which actually helps you through that Peace Framework. But I want to today give you something which instantly helps you within 3 minutes. It is a tool that will help you move from reactive to responsive parenting within 3 minutes. It is called the Pause Framework. Now, in Pause Framework, one thing before we get into that framework, I want you to understand that before we start that, I have dropped it in the chat, the Pause Framework. So if you can just open it, it's a PDF file. If you can open it, we can work through each of the pieces together by taking one real life question, and we will go through it, okay? But before that, I want to give you a little bit of, hi Sheila, because you just joined, let me put the Pause Framework one more time so that you have access to it. So if you can download that Pause Framework, then we can walk through it with one question, real life question, and walk through it on how to work on the Pause Framework. But before we go into it, one thing I want you to understand that when we have power struggles with our teen, right, the number one reason why we have power struggles is because when there is a conflict in the house, when we are trying to show authority to our kids, when we are showing control, their nervous system goes into threat mode and they become defensive. At that point, it is not they are never hearing about homework, my screen time, chores. They are not hearing any of it. They are hearing autonomy. Why are you controlling me? Why should I do what you are telling me to do? Instead of control, if we move back into influence, if we try to influence our kids, we are saying that I'm still the parent, but I am doing this in a calm way. If you are angry right now, let's take a minute. Go into your room. Let's both of us talk when we both are calm. When you are calm, it does not mean you are giving in. It does not mean you failed an argument because when they were making all their points, you're like, I'm not discussing with you right now. That does not make you any small. You are still the parent. You can still put the boundaries. It does not mean you are letting your teen do whatever they want. You are just saying, hey, right now, either you are mad or I am mad, or we both are mad at each other. Let's take time. Go into your room. Let's come back. when we are calm, and we will continue the discussion. Now, the very important thing here is, as Barbara talked about, accountability. We have to hold, being the adult here, we have to hold ourselves accountable to come back to the conversation. Commitment. We have to commit to what we said. I said, I'm going to talk to you after we both have calmed down. Make time for that conversation. Keep your word. Otherwise, kids will quickly say, yeah, mom always says this, but that never happens. So it's good. Whenever she says that, the conversation is gone out of the window. I get to do whatever I want. That's when you're giving in. That's when you're dropping the ball. So come back to the conversation, have it, and then set your boundary. The key to setting boundaries with kids or anybody in relationships is the calm composure that actually lands the boundary. If you're agitated, you know what? If you don't do this, I'm going to ground you at 9 p.m. itself. You're not going to get to 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. anymore, 10 p.m. And the more agitated I am, you go into your threat mode. You become defensive. You know what? I'll not do any chores. You know what? I'll not do babysitting anymore. It's like you, me, like, it doesn't work. So for your sake, for your boundary to land, for your boundary to be respected, be calm when you do it. Be composed. And when you actually put a boundary, enforce it. Most parents, they put boundaries, they don't enforce it. And they'll be like, kids never listen to me. Because disciplining the kid is more work for the parent than for the kid. Kids actually do it very quickly if you are confident and if you are composed. It takes discipline for the parents to discipline the kid. If I say I'm giving you a boundary, I have to give you the boundary. I have to give you the consequence. I need to have time to actually remember what boundary I laid and give you the consequence I said I would give you. If I'm not consistent in giving the consequences, you will take it easy, right? You will not do it. And my boundaries, it does not mean you are a defiant kid. It just means that I never set the system right. I set up the system for failure, right? So when you want your kids to listen to you, make sure to be calm and composed. Make sure to influence what you're saying. Be a role model. If you want your kids to discipline, the other day, one of the workshops I did, one parent asked me, how can I make my son make his bed and make his room clean? I said, before you do that, I'll tell you how to do it. But before doing that, I'm asking you a question. Do you have time to follow up whenever he does not make his bed? He said, he's 15 years old. He should be, why should I follow up with him? It is bothering you that he's not cleaning up. He's telling you, I don't know why he says he's okay with his messy room. Because he's really okay. It is bothering you, not him. So if you want him, he said, oh, but I want him to have that proper behavior, proper discipline growing up. In life, it is important. Yes. Do you have what it takes to discipline yourself to follow up every day to say, did you make your room? I will check at 9 p.m. every day. Did you make your 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., whatever the time is? Did you make you saying that I will check and you actually checking? 1 or 2 or 3 days is enough for you to check, and they will do it every day. Parents don't have the discipline to discipline their kids. They don't have time to prioritize following up. That is the problem. So now from that, we are going to go into the pause framework. I put in the chat for you guys. I'm going to open it up myself, and then we are going to go and see how pausing, taking a little bit of time, will actually help you. Let me reduce this and share the screen. And you can do this exercise along with me right now. So let me share the screen once. Can you see my screen where I'm showing the pause framework?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
okay.
We can.
So what I want you to do is pause is we are actually pinpointing the trigger. We are clearly stating what actually happened in one short sentence. Now, when an altercation happens, right, when a problem or an argument happens, we don't want to dig the past. Don't make it dramatic. Yes, L.
Can you magnify just a little bit more, please?
Yes. So
Thank you.
Does it help? Let me.
Yeah, that's good. You can probably go back one. Yeah.
Yep.
We can go one step at a time and then I can scroll down.
Perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
So the first one is pinpoint the trigger. Clearly state what actually happened in one short sentence. My teen came and slammed the door and went in. Now, possibly I got promoted. I have waited for this promotion for 5 years and I'm really on. I want to celebrate it with my family. I want to tell him that. And maybe that day is my birthday too. He forgot to wish me in the morning. He comes back from school. My husband got cake and he said, you know what, soon after the kids come back from school, let's cut some cake and celebrate and everything. And that's when my son came and dropped his bag. He's a very obedient kid, by the way. This happened with my kid. Not on all the circumstances, but I'm throwing in all the circumstances to make it more painful to you. So an obedient kid who's usually has wished you on every birthday and gave you nice from when he was young, he gave like nice cards and everything. He forgot about your birthday, did not wish you. You got a promotion you want to share. You have been complaining about that a lot. He didn't care. And morning you did tell him that, hey, today I'm going to hear, I'm pretty sure, I think informally I heard the rumor that I'm getting promoted. So I'm very excited. I will tell you all about it once you come back from school. All this hype, he comes, he throws his bag and goes in. When kids act like that, they are not defiant. Home is a safe space for them. They're holding it all together until they come home to vent out. And actually, you have to be glad they're at least venting out at home. Otherwise, suppressing all that emotions is going to impact them even in a much bigger way, right? So let's say this happened. How to use pause framework is not write the entire story of how your ego got bruised, that I wanted to share, but my son was not even able to receive. He didn't care. He just went into his room. He's so selfish. No, don't do all that, right? Just, so just write down in one sentence. So for you, whether you have kids or not, right now, I would like you today in any relationship, right? Clearly state what actually happened in one short sentence. Now what happens is when you write that, this avoids assumptions and brings clarity to the moment. You're not assuming he just didn't care about me. That's an assumption. No, my son came and threw the bag and slammed the door. Now, next, the very important thing is acknowledge your reaction. It is very, very important to acknowledge our own emotions because it's my birthday today. I got a promotion. I wanted to share. I felt so disappointed. I felt that he took me for granted. He did not have, I celebrate his birthday so much. I celebrate his win so much. Oh, you won this tournament. That's great. He's not reciprocating to small thing. Every week you win a tournament. Every week you have something going on. I have this once in 5 years. Why are you not? It is okay to feel anger, hurt, fear, confusion, whatever it is. Name your feeling and your urge. I felt like yelling at you. I felt like lecturing you. I felt like withdrawing from here, going out myself with my husband and going out and for a dinner or something. I wanted to fix it right away, come inside room, slam the door open and say, how dare you? And I wanted to solve it for you. Hey, honey, what happened? Doesn't matter what your reaction is, name it. Acknowledging your reaction helps you vent it out, right? Recognizing your own response increases self-awareness that this is how I'm feeling. Later on, you can think about why did I feel in this way? First is recognizing it, right? Now, the moment you recognize it, you don't have to react. You have to you can respond. You're giving yourself permission to respond in a calm way, right? Now, understand their world. Guess what is the underlying need or feeling your child has? What might have happened at school that an obedient kid came home like that? Was he bullied? My son, what happened was his cycle, one of the friends, he took Gatorade and poured it all over the gears. My son got so mad because that is the day My husband gave his expensive cycle. My son grew taller and he didn't have time to go and buy him another cycle. So my husband had an expensive cycle. He said, you take this from now on. So my son was really proud to be riding an expensive dad cycle. And for him, his friend threw all the water on, Gatorade on it, which is sticky. It messes up the gears. So he was terrified that his dad would be angry if something would happen to the cycle. He was terrified that by the time he comes home, if his grade, something would fail and his cycle would break down. He was terrified on, do I tell my dad and mom that Sid is bullying me? Will they go into the rabbit hole of asking me, how long has he been bullying you? Will they escalate it? He's my friend also. I don't want to make this a big deal. Will they go and talk to, he's my neighbor. Will they go and talk to the mom? What will happen? The moms are great friends. All this was going on with him. And he couldn't know what to do. He was messed up. He didn't know what to do. He just threw the bag and went in, right? So now I don't know all these things, right? Well, at least I could think that something bad would have happened. Maybe his grade went down. Maybe his friends bullied him. Something would have happened. Maybe he's overwhelmed with the exam tomorrow. He realized that suddenly they said there is a pop quiz tomorrow. He did not prepare for it. And he already has a piano recital today. He doesn't have time to prepare for it. He's surprised, overwhelmed, stressed out. Understand their world. The moment what happens when you try to understand, even if your guess is wrong, let's say all your guesses are wrong, right? Still, that gives you time to respond, not react. All these steps, each step of this is toning down your anger, your reactive nature, one step at a time. It is turning down one notch at a time. And by the time you come to the end of it, you are very well prepared to be an emotionally wise parent. Shift your approach. Choose a response that prioritizes connection over correction. Instead of saying, you always do this, this is not the right thing to do. A good kid does not behave this way. If you go out like this, will you behave like this with your teacher or with your friend's mom? Why are you doing this? You are very rude. Instead of labeling them, instead of judging their behavior, try to connect with them. What would connection sound like in this moment? How can I connect with him? Instead of jumping to discipline. And let's say in that moment, you have nothing to say. You cannot think of how to connect with him. In that time, it is better to be quiet than say something. Always when you don't know what to do, it is better to be quiet than say something and regret, do something and regret, right? So, but eventually over time, you will figure out how to connect with your kid, right? Consider their needs. A teenager, especially a teenager, they need autonomy. They need respect. They want to be treated like adults, but they are babies. They still need, mom, there is a rip in my pant. Can you iron it, please? Can you sew it, please? Mom, my shoes are, my son, he had a concert. He's growing, and teenagers, they grow tall very quickly. Before you know, you're like, I just bought this last month. What happened, right? There was a violin concert. We were already late. He comes down and he waits it. Mom, my shoes are not fitting me. He's 14 years old. He's like, okay. What shoe size are you right now? 9, 10? Okay, wear your dad's. Your dad has formal black shoes. Take them and see if you can wear them. Yeah, he's 10 and a half. They're a little loose, but I think it will work because mine are 7. My old formal shoes are 7. They're not even fitting me anymore. Okay, good. I will stuff one more socks there so that it fits you. They still need us, but they don't realize it. They are very, very, we are an adult, we are a parent, they need us, but they don't want to acknowledge that when they are having their ego comes into place, right? They want to be treated like adults when they want to. They want to be treated like babies when they want to. Mom, the cereal is gone. I don't know what to eat for breakfast. We ran out of cereal and I don't see another box of cereal. What do I do now? Eat a toast. There is a bagel there. Eat a bagel. Their brain won't even think that way. So treating them as adults when needed, respecting them, giving them space. Empathy builds connection and reduces conflict. Again, empathy does not mean you're giving in, you're making yourself small. No, it does not mean that. We talked about it. Influence is more important than control. And then shift your approach. Choose a response that prioritizes connection over correction, right? Instead of jumping to discipline, Responsive actions foster trust, especially when emotions are strong, right? And then engage with curiosity. The reason we react is because it is always the underlying emotion is fear, whether it is anger, frustration, confusion, whatever it is. The bottom line underlying thing of all the emotions which makes you react is fear that they are falling behind, fear that what happens if this kind of a kid goes into the world and he fails in a relationship because of his attitude, right? Rude attitude. What if tomorrow he doesn't get into an interview? Tomorrow he doesn't get a job. Tomorrow he doesn't get this, doesn't get that. Something is fear based. So instead of fear and frustration, and then you are like, I did not raise you with these values. Where did you get all these from? That frustration, like, how did you get all these things? So engage with curiosity. Instead, I noticed you are upset. What is going on? They might not be ready to say that. They might not be ready to engage. Let them go. Let them go into their room. What I did that day when my son came home, he was not ready to tell me anything. He loves chocolate chip cookies. I baked them and I kept them. Of course, he can smell it. And I sent my younger son. He loves his brother. He never says no to him. So my younger son gets scared when my older son is mad. So he wrote on a big printed paper, cookies made for you with love from Amma. He wrote that and he slid the paper under his room. He saw that, he came down because my older son loves to eat the cookies right off the oven when they are very moist. He does not like it even after 10 minutes. If they become a little hard, he doesn't want to eat it. So he came down. He ate 10 cookies that day. Usually he comes home and he eats something solid. I think he did not even eat his lunch. He ate 10 cookies that day. He was hogging down the cookies. At that time, I'm like, don't eat so many cookies. It's not good. That is not the time. Once it's okay. I just sat there. Can I have one more, please? Can I have one more, please? He kept eating. And by the 5th cookie, he started talking. It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm a 2nd degree black belt. I can go and hit Sid for what he did. But I cannot do it because I am taught in Taekwondo that you should use your martial arts only for self-defense, not to attack somebody. How is it fair? And now he's asking me questions on, that is not fair that I learned martial arts and I cannot defend myself. I'm like, is this really defending yourself or attacking him for what he did? I had to explain to him the difference between attacking versus defense. So he told, I did not say anything. That quiet space gave him an engaging with curiosity. And I did not even had to ask the question. I just had to bake the cookies and sit there. It's like, can I eat more? Can I eat more? Can I eat more? After that, after his stomach was full, he was calm. He was content. Then he started talking. And then he's like, I'll tell you something, but please don't go to Sid's mom. Please don't go to Sonika auntie. Don't tell her that. I don't want this to escalate. I'm not doing anything. I'm just listening. We did not do anything. I told him what is the difference. I didn't even tell him how to go and address the situation. I told him the difference between defense and attack. And when somebody does these things to you, what do you do? I just told that. I didn't tell him how to address the situation. He never came back to me. They stayed friends. They carpooled together all the time. I don't even know how he resolved it. Kids are very smart. They figure it out. Instead, I know some parents where they added fuel to the fire. They actually escalated to the vice principal. Not this, some other similar situation where they went, the parents don't talk anymore. It's not needed. All that is not needed. This, by doing this, modeling this pause framework, pausing for all this, it might sound too much, but put it on your fridge. Put it on your fridge. And I have it like this. I literally have on this card. I put it on our fridge and everybody sees it. And it is not just with kids. You can do this with everybody. Your boss, your spouse, your mother-in-law, anybody, your neighbor, anybody. What it does, the pause framework, is it actually helps you respond instead of react. And the more you become responsive, the more you practice it, you become calmer first. It is not about anybody else. The more calm you are, the more confident you become. The more confident you are, the more good you'll feel about yourself. And everything sets in place. You can accomplish anything and everything you want only when you are peaceful, When there is peace, you are more confident. So this is the pause framework. I'm going to stop here and ask if anybody is willing to share one thing that they wrote. Like, if you did it, what is it that you do, and what shifted for you after listening to this, or any example that you have in your life, or anything. Elle, go ahead.
I have children, so I want to applaud you for this framework and want to ask you, where have you been all of my children's lives? Because when I became a mother, I was pulling from my past, saying like, hey, this is how I was raised, and I turned out fine, you know? But in listening to this pause framework, where we get to take that break and say, this is, I was super excited about sharing with my children about something that I had accomplished, but they weren't in the mood.
Yes.
And instead of being curious about them not being in the mood, I got upset. And I'm like, man, I give you guys all of my attention. I take you here. I do this. I'm tired. I just wanted this one little thing. Man, if I would have had your pause framework, I would have taken that deep breath, because what it did was it created a rift, an unintentional one, because I was in my emotions. I was being human too. But they were like, since I'm, the adult and the older one, and I should have known better, so to speak, it's just like, it's like, hey, and I had to go back to them and say, hey, mommy's human. I am sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to I was super excited, and I wanted you to be excited with me. Like, you want me to be excited with you when you're excited. It's a two-way street. But, as children, they may not fully understand that phase, because, as you were saying, they're in their ego.
Yes.
So we get to understand our children at whatever age and stage that they're in, meet them in that, because as you were saying, teenagers, they want that autonomy, but yet they still want that belonging, right? So it's finding that balance. So thank you so much for sharing, Madhuri, with your pause framework. And
Thank you.
I'm going to print this and put it on the refrigerator so my children see it as well.
And I'm telling you, I shared this with all my clients. I cannot tell you how many positive things that came back. And parents, more than they saying that my kids are listening, he's like, you know what? My husband started to pause. Otherwise, he would be very quick in judgment. He would be very quick. Hey, why didn't he move the trash? Today's Thursday. Why is the trash not outside? And when they do that, they are like, it seems she shows the fridge. She won't even say anything. She'll be like, look at the fridge. Pause. Tomorrow he has a midterm and he's overwhelmed. Today it's okay. I can put the trash out, or you can put the trash out. It's like, hey, why is not this done? Why is he did not do this? Why is this here? Why is that there? Right? So Sheila, and there is iPhone. Any one of you, would you like to give any feedback, or did this help you? You can put it in the chat if you don't want to come on the video or say anything.
No, I don't have anything to add. Thanks.
Okay.
I'll definitely add, as someone on the call right now who does not have any children, but I am surrounded by children. But I think even more importantly, to Elle and Madhuri's point, is it's about relationships, right? And how do you stop, especially when I think about, right, speaking for myself, I tease and I laugh and I always say I'm a firstborn daughter, and if you know, you know, right? And so for me, it was a lot of being sometimes second in command, even if my dad was in the house, right? It was always, well, here, you're in charge, watch your brother and sister, right? And so I feel like I've been sort of preconditioned at times to immediately respond, be the solution, right? Have the solve for the people who are asking me the questions. And sometimes, and what I like about this pause framework is taking that breath also allows for me to get additional information.
Yes.
right? Sometimes we are only the person who we're responding to is only giving us a tidbit of information.
Yes.
And usually what the silo of what they want us to resolve. But I've found myself, and even as you were going through this, having to say, you know what? I need more information before I can even determine what is the best solution for this situation. And oftentimes that makes people upset because they're like, oh, well, why are you asking all this extra, you need this extra context. But once we get to the right, like, are we solving the root of the issue or are we just putting a band-aid on the situation? Right. And when we can stop and take a moment to breathe and understand, okay, there could be something deeper going on here. Or how many times are we going through the same type of issue? You know what I mean? So for me, I thought like I'm also one who is going to print this out and make sure that I get it shared out with some good people. And I'm going to share it out from your website so they can connect with you as well, right? Not sending the
Yes.
PDF. They need to go to
Yeah.
Madhuri's website and connect with her because I do think that this could open up communication in many relationships. And also, when you were sharing, Ellen, as I put in the chat, I think for me, one of the things that bonded me so closely with my mother as well, and putting sort of all those expectations on her that I did is when she would find that there was an error or something that maybe we did not go as planned, it was just a communication error, coming back and saying, hey, I messed up, right? And I can remember being a letter writer from being a young girl. I would always write my mom a letter because I would get too emotional in the moment, or didn't want to say the wrong thing and be seen as disrespectful. But I also knew that she would take the time to read it. So finding these different ways to communicate within relationships is so valuable. So I am thankful for this peace framework or pause because it is necessary. And I think it just keeps it top of mind, right? I think that's the thing is like, this is not brand new information, but it's bringing it back to be focused on, okay, what is the real thing that we're trying to do here? And we're trying to be connected in an
Yeah.
intentional way.
Yeah. And you brought up a good thing. I have this on my desk, which literally says, I don't understand it yet.
There you go.
Then my kids come and say, you don't get it. I'm like, I don't understand it yet, but if you explain to me, I'm pretty sure I'll get it. So
Yes.
take time to explain to me what you're going through, right?
Yep.
I think
Yes.
I'll understand. Oh, you don't know how the kids are in school. You did not go to school here. That's fine. I went to school somewhere. Teenagers
Right.
are the same everywhere, right? I need not go through the exact thing that you're going through, but underlying the emotions are the same.
There you
I
go.
did get upset up with my friends. I did get upset with my parents. I was angry at my parents, at my situation, whatever, at my school, at my exams, everything. So it is very important, and mainly everywhere in our lives, right? Become responsive, not reactive. Reaction is never good because our inner intelligence is not working when we are reacting. We are snapping at things and we are very quick at judging others. We are very quick at you always do this. I hate that when people say, oh, I know you would come late. You always come late. It doesn't matter. That actually, what I understood is when you label your kids, especially, and your any close members of the family or even teen, when you are saying it enough, they make it their identity.
Yep.
They start telling, oh, I'm always late. I'm always lazy. I'm an angry person. I'm a lazy person. Where are they getting it from? Because you fed it into their head all the time. Don't say those things. Instead, take one thing at a time. Why was he late today? Oh, every time he's taking a long shower, that's why he's getting late. Why are you taking a long shower? Would you rather shift the shower to night instead of morning before going to school? Right? Things like that. So I think that is what it is. And for the people who are here, thanks, Elle, for dropping it. Yeah. So you can get, if you're a parent, you can get one free clarity as a VIP gift for today for people out there. I'm going to give one clarity call. Let me find out where it is.
Oh, I put it in it's in there. the
And then
link to your Calendly
y-
that has the clarity coaching session.
yes. Okay, perfect.
It's in there. It's in
Okay,
there.
okay. Sorry, I thought I did not see that. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So yeah,
You're
that's all I have for today. Thanks a lot for listening, and I will give it over to Q or L. L. Okay,
L.
L. Okay. Give me a minute. Sorry about that.